Hi everyone, Tony Tonkin here from Real Change SA at the moment. Hopefully that will continue to be the case come Saturday's election. So I want you to vote for Stephen Polaris and myself for Real Change SA. Now, that may revert back to Child Protection Party come Monday, Tuesday, whenever the election results are finalised. But right now I wanted to talk about an issue which particularly is of concern to me, like most of these Facebook feeds that I do. And that was that there was a report in the Advertiser today about a woman who lost her life as a result of a domestic violence dispute. Now, there's not that much we know about this, but it's distressing at a number of levels because a young woman has been pointlessly murdered because of a dickhead who I can't even find an appropriate word to describe who this man is. But anybody who takes anybody else's life, actually for any reason, one has to wonder about their whether they deserve to be living amongst society anymore, because they don't. And this is another example, though, of where someone has died as a result of a violent and abusive person in their lives. And the sad thing for me is that we as a community are failing women around issues around domestic violence. Each week, on average, a woman dies at the hands of a male as a result of violent and abusive behaviour. And the other distressing aspect, of course, is that there are often children involved who now have to grow up without a mother, and who then have to lead a life which is, for many, distressing, traumatic. Some of those kids may even wind up, if there's no other family member to take care of them, often those kids may wind up in out-of-home care. So this is the Real Change SA and the Child Protection Party particularly the Child Protection Party, have been working for years in order to change their attitude towards, get the community to change their attitude towards women, to find better ways to protect women. The Real Change SA, and particularly through Stephen, have chosen to develop a policy which is really about ensuring that women don't have to leave the home, that men, in most cases, are taken elsewhere, that they can't revisit the home, that they can wear ankle bracelets, monitoring devices, so that we know where they are. And we need to increase the penalties, because clearly the penalties for doing what this man did to this woman, whatever they are at the moment, are not severe enough. They just aren't. And we need to tighten up on all of those laws. We need to make more services available to women so that they don't wind up dead, so that they have ways by which they believe that the community will support them, that police will support them. There needs to be more training amongst the police around domestic violence issues to make sure that the perpetrator is removed from the home. There needs to be better training amongst magistrates so that they reinforce apprehension violence orders, so that those orders just don't get dismissed. It's just a piece of paper that someone can ignore. We need to change all of those systems. And we're here at Real Change plan to do that if you vote for us on Saturday. Now, I just want to go to the article concerned, and I've got me up there, which is really stupid of me, Tony, which is this article. The interesting thing about this for me was that the article focuses very much on the family and what's happening to them. And this is important to understand, that there are a whole lot of people that are grieving as a result of the death of this young woman. So it says here, Simone Bell was a trusting soul who always had a smile on her face, offered a hand in generosity, and provided a shoulder to cry on. The devoted mother of 3 kids, remember, wanted to give her kids the best opportunities in life and study medicine to develop greater knowledge of their health conditions. Apparently they had some physical ailments. But those dreams were shattered when Miss Bell was murdered at Millicent in yet another alleged case of domestic violence in Australia. Family and friends have paid tribute to the bubbly 26-year-old, she's only 26, who was found by police dead inside her rental house on Paul Street just after 11 p.m. on Saturday. Ms. Bell's brother Peter Bell, Paul Bell Inscoop, said the unfathomable tragedy had sent shockwaves through their family, which we can all understand. And there are some lovely pictures of this beautiful woman. And it's so sad that her life has been taken from her. She was just the type of person that if she knew you were going to be part of her life, she would embrace that. She was a trusting girl and struggled to see the bad in anyone. She made my house a home and loved my kids unconditionally, said her friend. They've got a GoFundMe page, which I think is fabulous, for her to help her support her three children. They're aged 6, 4 and 3. And I just want to skip through this. So there's lots of lovely stuff said about this woman. And then there's this jerk, this character. Let's not forget this face, because this is the person that's allegedly killed her. We need to focus on the fact that, firstly, there are allegations of murder. Nothing's been proven, hasn't gone to court yet, obviously, so we need to be careful, I guess, about what we say. But this is the face, potentially, allegedly, of a murderer of this particular woman. Police will remain outside the house maintaining guard until forensic officers from Adelaide return on Tuesday to continue examining the crime scene. Cody Edwards, 25, of Millicent, was arrested at the scene and charged with murder. He was remanded in custody and will appear in court on Tuesday. So what we have here is potentially a domestic violence situation in which a woman, in this case, was murdered by the person, I guess, with whom she had that relationship. And as a result of that, her 3 children have been left motherless. Young children have been left motherless throughout this as well. And I think this is the tragedy. The tragedy here is that it certainly didn't need to happen. Now, we don't know what services were available at Millicent. We don't know whether she accessed any services. If she chose not to access services, we don't know what services she failed to access. We don't know whether the police were ever called to this home during a dispute. In this instance, I think a neighbour contacted the police because they'd heard arguments. But we as a community, though, need to find ways to band together to help to protect these women from not only the abuse but potentially their death. In some of these circumstances, kids get involved. The kids can lose their lives as a result of these forms of disputes. Now, we as a community need to be a little bit more mindful of what may happen in relation to any argument that we hear. We need to be alert as to whether that person is okay. We need to make sure that we check up on that person. But more importantly, though, we need to have a system that supports them. And this is what we lack right now, the support that we need for these women so that they can feel safe within their community, and so that perpetrators like this clown won't commit these particular crimes. So the question we need to be asking is, what services were offered, were they appropriate, and whether or not anybody else in the community was engaging with this woman in relation to the violence that was happening in her home. It's a catastrophe, and I find it personally very sad. And now I'm feeling really sad for these kids that now have to live the rest of their lives without their mother. Some of them, the 3-year-old in particular, probably never remembering who her mother was and the loving and caring nature of her mum. So this is a really important issue. If we wish to resolve this issue, though, it's really important that on Saturday, if you live in South Australia, that you vote for Real Change SA, because it's only through Stephen Polaris and myself that these changes will be made. It is evident. Look, how long has this government been in? 8 years or so? What have they accomplished in terms of changing domestic violence laws and rape laws in relation to how women are perceived and questioned in courts and believed? So who's changing all of that? No one. Who's changing the system in relation to how child protection services are delivered and the type of services that are delivered, and whether or not we can trust that service to work with families so the kids can be returned from them or not removed in the first place? No one. The whole system lacks transparency and just needs to. We need to find a way to change, and it's through. I've always advocated, as the Child Protection Party, that the only way we can bring about effective change is to hold all these people to account. And the only way we can do that is through parliamentary representation. Now, we may hate politicians. I get that. So many people do. I'm one of them, because they deliver nothing. So those of us who feel that way need to get in there and change that system so that at least we can be trusted in what it is that we say and do, and let people know that we will actually do what it is that we will say. We will put forward legislation. If governments or other parties refuse to support that legislation, we were going to ask them why. We'll make them accountable for the decisions they make, which allow women to be placed in situations where they may be murdered or abused, or where kids may suffer as a result of hearing those sorts of abusive behaviours by another partner. We want these changes to take place. We urge you, therefore, to vote for real changes, say, come Saturday in the Legislative Council. Now, I just wish to finish with this final comment, I guess. It's the last couple of weeks since we've been running our campaign have been a real struggle in terms of getting media to engage with us, particularly me, and to talk to us about the issues that are concerning us. Now, we've been presenting these issues as the Child Protection Party for some 6 years now. The media know what we think about them, but they're disengaged with us around these particular issues, around kids' mental well-being, around workplace, around schoolyard bullying, about social media bullying, and so forth. These are issues that concern us, but clearly don't concern the media, unless it's something to do with some bizarre thing such as, I don't know, ramping, whatever. Whether it be about, someone's had a shot at Stephen Polaris because of the preferences deals that we've done. These are not the important issues. The important issues are about what we're going to do to improve our communities and our society so that we can have better outcomes for kids. This is key to everything that we at the party do, and we believe our community should be engaged in, but they're not. So, what I want you to do is to help us. So, 2 things I'm going to ask of you. If you live in South Australia, can you please contact us at admin@childprotection.party and let us know if you're able to hand out how to vote cards on Saturday. That's number 1, and that's important. Just let Avery know that. Avery will pass that on to Stacey, who's looking after that, and then someone will call you and organise where you can stand. Maybe just for an hour will be fine. Doesn't have to be very long. Just hand out how to vote cards. Help us out on Saturday. That would be amazing. It may help us to get across the line. We need that. We're having trouble getting people at the moment. And number 2 is share our videos. So all the videos that we've now put up on Facebook and on YouTube, could you share them to all the people that are on your Facebook page? Let people know that we exist. Let people know that we offer an alternative to the bullshit type of politicians that we normally get. We offer a real alternative and that we will deliver what we can to improve the way legislation is formed that's going to take care of the most vulnerable, the most voiceless people in our community. if you care about your next door neighbour, and if you care about kids in general, and you care about people that are in violent and abusive relationships, there's only one place that you can vote on Saturday, and that's with Real Change SA. So I suggest, and I urge you to do just that. So vote for us on Saturday, and we will make the difference that you need to see and experience in the political realm. Take care, everybody. Look after yourselves and be safe.